wisdom, just a fire in his gut and a need to kill. Polar opposites in battle. Lothbrok refuses to wait. Screams that border on incoherent violence babble, doing more to stun the Jotuns than scare. Shepard turns his back to the fray, slamming his hammer against the ice, cutting the distance of the bridge to the mountain short. Gargantuan spikes of blue falling upon the greedy edges of Olympus shatter in crystal resonance, splintering into glitter as it falls below the clouds. He then spins back towards the battle to follow after the madman. Each step toward the flare is quickened, his boots holding to the surface for the moment as is it possible he could slide upon the ice. Thunder in the space above, across the drifts of Milky Ways. The snow flies up in a strange flock, dancing around the scene. Shepard fires off both barrels of his shotgun, which cascade bits of ice from the Jotun. He does not give a registered thought to the impact, which has no relevance to slow the advance of either. However, the creature which dwarfs Shepard, who is near 7 foot in height himself, swiftly brings a great axe slamming down. The only thing Shepard can do is raise the shotgun, using the barrel as best he can to deflect the blow. It works, however slight, the force sending the man in a tumble to bounce off the surface of the bridge before halting against a raised ledge. In the distance, from the open well where the men had stood, the faint sounds of voices, singing blissful, peaceful songs. As Shepard shakes the cobwebs from his mind, the only cold accentuates the ache in his bones. Balls. He looks wearily at the shattered barrel of his shotgun, then to the hammer which lay several feet out of his reach. Beyond that, Lothbrok swings wildly, impassioned by the call of battle, emboldened by the lust for blood. Even the cold blue of the Jotun blood would satisfy his need. His own axe faring only slightly better against the flesh of the Jotun, shearing off a hard slab as the axe head frosts over before shattering from cold. The wound, however, makes the great beast howl in pain, and the slush of blood run from the blubberous hole. A great backswing sends Lothbrok landing next to Shepard, who is unbalanced yet now standing. "Get up, boy!" Shepard screams at Lothbrok, which is not registers of words, as the man is in the throes of rage unmeasured. The blackened skin on his arms seared by the touch of the Jotun. Words are meaningless. The pain serves only as fuel for fury. The two move in on the same target, slowing only to pick up his hammer. Shepard catches up fast, while Lothbrok rolls under the club that buries into the ice. The Jotun, distracted by the disappearance of the first attacker, takes its eyes from the approach of the second, who sends his hammer through the kneecap, shattering the leg in half. The Jotun falls. Lothbrok grabs the club, lifting it with no small amount of strain, to then crush the Jotun's head. There is a moment on the ice where the sounds of the Jotun howling, of Lothbrok's screams, are not there. Only the sound of far-off singing. A feeling of peace inside Shepard, which is reflected in Lothbrok. Each standing at a pause neither seems to be able to control. The winds that roared are gone, only the snow is left to peacefully fall around them. Odin! Lothbrok looks to the space above, where clasped in a flailing robe, upon the great steed sets in a wreath of white hair the Allfather, spear raised high towards the endless universe, golden tip sending forth rays of light. This amber glow causes the Jotun to cover their eyes, as their hulking masses are rooted, being tossed from the bridge by a colossal black goat, horns wrapped with red strips of cloth, a wreath like a collar around its neck, oily spiraled horns lifting the monsters with ease. Well, fuck me, Shepard mutters, watching this spectacle, finding that even though he had admitted the Norse gods existed, he is lacking in belief of the scene. Boy, he yells before shoving Lothbrok out of the way, as a club drives his body to the floor of ice. From beneath, a sickly cry as all the wind is crushed from him. His eyes go blank. Not even so much a gurgle of blood, or strain to try to move. Lothbrok, eyes wide, reflecting the broken body of his friend in their iris, picks up the crucifix-headed hammer and sends it flying into the offending monster, its face exploding into dust. You motherfucker! Lothbrok climbs the body to retrieve the hammer, only to send the head back down as it's splitting a cord of wood. The sudden stampede of 8 legs. The steed clambers across the ice bridge to clear the remaining Jotun with the wrath of the Odin as its guide. Lothbrok leaves the carnage to drop next to his fallen friend. The sound of song again transgresses into all things. The color returning to his face and eyes, Lothbrok bites back a mournful sigh as it would dishonor his friend. Brother, this is no place for you. He speaks loud, though straining to give volume, over the music as it softens. That, my son, is true. A voice holding power, profoundly proud and wise, neglects no empathy of the moment. Lothbrok looks up to the one-eyed Titan standing above him as Odin had dismounted his steed. He is not for our gates to cross, though his act make him worthy, Lothbrok says quietly, refusing to rise. I have not often found a soul to bring my